There is something strange about human intelligence. The smarter people become, the more we expect them to be immune to bad ideas, more rational, more objective, more resistant to manipulation. And yet, history tells a different story. Brilliant scientists have defended false theories. Highly educated people have joined destructive movements. Some of the most intelligent minds in history have believed things that were completely wrong, not because they lacked information, not because they lacked intelligence, but because intelligence and truth are not the same thing. And the gap between them may be smaller than you want to believe, because the human brain was never designed to discover truth above all else. It was designed to survive. And sometimes survival demands something very different. Think about the last opinion you strongly disagreed with. A political belief, a social issue, a controversial idea online. Something that made you think, how could anyone possibly believe that? At that moment, the answer probably felt obvious. They were misinformed, biased, manipulated, irrational. But there is another possibility. What if the process that led them to that belief is the same process that leads you to yours? Not because the beliefs are equally correct, but because the machinery producing them is remarkably similar. Most of us like to imagine ourselves as independent thinkers. We see information, analyze it, reach conclusions, then form beliefs, a clean and logical process. But human psychology rarely works that way. In reality, beliefs often arrive first. The explanations come later. To understand why, we need to go back to a simple experiment conducted in the 1950s. A psychologist named Solomon Asch invited participants into a room. The task seemed almost embarrassingly easy. They were shown two sets of lines. Their job was to identify which one matched. The answer was obvious. No ambiguity, no trick. Anyone could see it. But there was something the participants didn't know. Everyone else in the room was part of the experiment, actors. And one by one, those actors began giving the wrong answer. Not once, not twice, repeatedly. The correct answer was sitting right in front of them, visible, undeniable. And yet something remarkable happened. Many participants abandoned their own eyes and agreed with the group. They knowingly chose the wrong answer, not because they suddenly became unable to see, not because they lost intelligence, because they felt something stronger, the discomfort of standing alone. Being wrong together felt safer than being right alone. That single idea explains far more human behavior than most people realize. For most of human history, isolation carried enormous risks. Humans survived in groups. A person rejected by the tribe didn't just lose community. They lost protection, resources, everything. And while modern life has changed dramatically, the brain still carries traces of that ancient world. Deep inside your nervous system, belonging still matters more than you think, more than logic sometimes allows, which means that when a belief becomes tied to a group, questioning the belief can feel like questioning your membership in the group itself. And suddenly the issue is no longer truth, it's belonging. This is why intelligent people can defend ideas that appear obviously flawed from the outside. Because intelligence is not simply a tool for discovering facts. It is also a tool for protecting identity. The smarter you are, the better you become at building explanations, finding evidence, creating arguments, defending conclusions, even when those conclusions are wrong, especially when they are wrong. Psychologists sometimes call this motivated reasoning, the tendency to use reasoning not to discover what is true, but to justify what we already want to believe. And the frightening part is that it often feels exactly like rational thinking. From the inside, it doesn't feel like bias. It feels like logic. But social influence is only part of the story. There is another force operating quietly in the background. One that affects nearly everyone, even when no group is present. Imagine hearing a claim once. You question it, hear it 10 times, and something changes. Not because evidence appeared, but because repetition made it feel familiar. And the brain mistakes familiarity for truth. Psychologists call this the illusory truth effect. The statement doesn't need to be accurate. It only needs to become familiar. And familiarity feels safe. effortless, recognizable. The brain likes recognizable things. Now think about the modern world. Millions of people carrying devices that deliver information every waking hour. The same claims, the same headlines, the same opinions, the same narratives, again and again and again. Repetition has never been more powerful than it is now, not because technology changed human psychology, because technology learned how human psychology already works. The algorithms didn't invent these vulnerabilities, they discovered them and then optimized for them. The strange thing is that most people assume manipulation looks dramatic, a secret conspiracy, a shocking lie, but influence is usually much quieter, much more ordinary. It looks like seeing the same idea repeatedly, hearing the same opinion from multiple directions, watching everyone around you treat something as obvious, until eventually it feels obvious to you too, not because you consciously chose it, because familiarity slowly removed the feeling of uncertainty. And certainty is one of the most attractive feelings the brain can experience. But here is the twist. The greatest threat isn't that other people can influence your beliefs. That has always been true. The real danger is believing you are completely immune to influence. Because the moment you assume your mind is fully independent, you stop examining how your beliefs formed in the first place. You stop asking where an idea came from, who repeated it, why it felt convincing, whether you believed it because it was true or because it was familiar. The people most vulnerable to influence are often the people who believe they cannot be influenced. And intelligence does not automatically protect against that. Sometimes it makes the illusion stronger, because intelligence can create confidence, and confidence can make self-examination feel unnecessary. This doesn't mean all beliefs are false. It means the path to truth is more complicated than most of us would like to admit, because every belief begins its journey through a brain shaped by evolution. A brain that craves belonging, a brain that seeks certainty, a brain that prefers familiarity, a brain that was built to survive long before it was built to analyze information online. And that brain belongs to all of us, not just other people. You, me, everyone. So the next time you encounter a belief that seems obviously wrong, pause for a moment. Not to agree with it, not to accept it, but to ask a different question. What made it feel true to the person who believes it? Because understanding that process may reveal something uncomfortable. The same psychological machinery that created their certainty may also be helping create yours. And if intelligence alone cannot guarantee truth, then how many of your beliefs are actually yours? And how many simply feel that way?